Hi buddies, it's me, Tinty. Today we are going to make tomato soup. I love tomato soup. It's the perfect lunch along with a grilled cheese sandwich on the side. First things first, remember that Titi wants you guys to be extra safe. So make sure you always have a grown-up there with you to lend a hand in the kitchen. Since we're making tomato soup, we want it nice and smooth, so I have my trusty blender right here. The first ingredient, obviously, is tomatoes. I have two 14.5-ounce cans of tomatoes. You can use whole tomatoes, diced, crushed, whatever type you want. Since my blender's pretty small, I'm going to mix up just half the tomatoes at a time. The next thing we're gonna add, and hear me out, is some fresh spinach. It just disappears into the soup and adds a little extra nutritional oomph. So here I have 1 cup of fresh spinach, and since I'm blending in 2 batches, I'm just gonna put half a cup in at a time. And now we've got half a cup of water, and I'm gonna pour in about 1/4 cup into the blender. Time to mix up this first batch. And now I'll pour it into my bowl here. Let's do batch number 2. I've got another can of tomato sauce. And now some spinach. And finally the last of our water. Time to mix it up. Now I'll add it to my other half of the soup. Now before we heat this up, we're gonna add just a couple more ingredients, starting with 2 tablespoons of heavy cream. I like cream because it gives it just a really nice velvety texture. And now for a few seasonings. Let's start with some garlic powder and add half a teaspoon of that. Next up, let's do half a teaspoon of onion powder. And finally, half a teaspoon of salt. Let's stir together our mixture and then head to the stove. Now I'm heating up a pot over medium heat on my stove here, and I'm going to add my soup mixture. Now continue to heat up your pot for about 5 minutes or so until your soup gets nice and toasty. In the meantime, give it a stir every minute or so. This soup smells delicious. Now it's time for my most favorite part, tasting! And now you'll notice this cheese that's been sitting on the counter. I have some grated white cheddar cheese that I think makes the perfect topping for tomato soup. Let's dig in. That's extra good! The first thing you notice is the tanginess of the tomatoes and then the creaminess of the texture. This is a really nice tomato soup. The seasonings are just right and it came together so quickly. Well, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today, and I hope you'll give the recipe a try too. Don't be scared away by the spinach. Honestly, you can't even taste it at all. I'll see you guys again soon, and happy creating!